Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They have over 180,000 different audiobooks for you to choose from. So if you can't find something there, then hey, you might be the pickiest person I've ever met. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
And I'm moving to Kansas City.
He is moving to Kansas City. Not officially yet, but he did just rattle off a string of numbers that I will not include in this episode because I do not want you guys to also win the lottery. But let me tell you something, all right? If I win the lottery, number one, Johnny's moving. And
number two, Jumbled becomes a daily podcast.
Dude, how awesome would that be? We'd do like live podcasts and like Joe Rogan, dude. We just go live on YouTube out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Hire a producer.
Because I'm assuming the lottery you're going to win is going to be one of those Powerballs that's like $3 billion. So.
Oh no, it was going to be like a $2 scratcher. You're moving.
I won $20, John. Congrats.
No, I don't play scratchers. As a general rule, I don't buy them.
I've won a few $100s on scratchers. Pretty exciting. I enjoy playing the blackjack ones, but there's some of them now are way too complicated.
Yeah,
like, way too complicated. I don't want to have to read a rule book I just want to scratch and know if I won immediately.
Right. It's like there are stipulations and like the whole back of the card has the rules of the game.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get pretty happy when I get them as a gift. But in general, I don't buy them either.
No. I think, well, in general, since we're talking about generalities, I think that the lottery in and of itself is a waste of time. But
everyone likes to dream, Zach. Okay?
Everybody likes. No, I'm not. And believe me, back whenever the Powerball was up to $900 and something million, and everybody and their mom is buying tickets, I was one of them. And I dressed up. Man. I pulled a U.S. voter fraud move, and I put on some framed glasses and one of the glasses with the nose and the mustache.
Yeah.
And then I went and I bought more Powerball tickets because I think it's illegal to buy more than one Powerball ticket.
There's no way that's correct, you goober.
No, you're supposed to follow me on the bit, dude.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay, dude.
Too literal right now. Too literal. So Zach, yeah. It's December 11th.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Thanks for the update.
How's your dick?
Healing.
Healing.
No, currently it's I would say it's probably healed.
Oh, that means you failed early.
On the 6th. I failed on the 6th, guys.
You failed on the 6th?
So I got through the 5th, okay? I failed on the 6th. Now, I think that's a respectable number, okay? I think once you get up higher than that, you get all the chafing and stuff. I think I saved myself from an excruciating month and a lot of bleeding and soreness, okay? Because I've done that before. I've gone too hard in the paint, and not as much lubricant as necessary. So I think I saved myself some. But I'm also partially blaming you, and we've talked about this.
Okay. Well, number one, I have made it very, 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 very clear that if you have important information that needs to get to me, don't put it in Slack.
Hey, dude, and I assume that, we're both in this to win this, all right?
Yeah, but everything else we text.
Clear, open, honest communication. Clear, open, honest communication. All right, dude? I communicated. Okay, guys, let's backtrack. Jonny did not get me my paid porn subscription because he didn't see it in Slack. I powered through it, There's a lot of good stuff out there anyway. And
you just went through all the videos that I've sent you over the past years.
You know what really actually happened was, yeah, that's it. What really actually happened was I got one out of the way, right out of the way in the morning, and then I didn't get a chance the rest of the day.
No work jerks, eh?
Yeah, none of that. It was just way too busy. And so, unless I was going to come home and like completely shun my family and just lock myself in a room.
You made the right decision.
Real quick, you said a couple episodes ago when this whole thing was starting, there were some bets. I want to know if you said there were some people that had a lot of faith in me. Number one, hey, I apologize, I guess. I don't know. And then there were some people that had lower expectations. So what I want to know is, did I surpass some expectation, or did I pretty much hit the rock bottom?
You actually landed about where everyone thought you would, which is a pretty respectable day to land on, I think. As a family man.
Yeah, 31 years old.
In his 30s, out of his prime, balding.
Hey, listen, man, if I had the time, I'm not balding. What are you talking about, dude?
No, you did pretty well. Actually, I would say around where most people said you would land. So
okay, well, so that was the who was the person that had like super extra faith in me and said I was going to go 18 or something like that? Was there some?
Dude, I can't.
What was the highest? Share names. Okay, don't share
14.
names. 14 was the highest.
14 was the highest.
14 was the highest, and you know what? I really
wish is incredible.
That's more than I've ever done. If I would have pulled that out on the 14th day, up to that point, there would have been, I don't know I can't do factorials right now, but up to that point, it would have been
a lot of days.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times. It would have been impressive. I'll be excited to see Reddit, and if anyone claims to have conquered Destroy Dick December. Unfortunately, Destroy Dick December 2018.
Yeah.
Jumbled failed.
It's okay. But it's a win. It's a victory of sorts.
Well,
I wouldn't say jumbled failed, because this wasn't a jumbled thing. This was,
well, you were just placing blame on me, so
but that's you and me. Those are two separate failures. But that's not a failure of the podcast, because a podcast.
So Joe's still in it, is what you're saying.
A podcast does not have a penis, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
We are the penisless podcast.
I don't know if that's a great way to describe our podcast.
No, the podcast is neither male nor female. It is a thing. That's where I'm going. Right. We anyway, doesn't matter. I failed. That's basically what it comes down to.
But you know what's the beauty of this? Is that it's a great segue into our next topic. Which might be a reoccurring bit.
Okay.
Parenting with Jonny.
Parenting with Jonny. Okay, so
we should preference this with, or prefix it. Preface. There we go. The P words. I haven't gotten that far through the dictionary yet.
You're like partially through the P's.
So I don't have kids.
No, he does not.
Don't plan on having kids. Sorry,
but he has corgis.
I have 2 corgis, which many people say is the easy mode of kids, which makes me even more terrified about kids, truthfully. But I love to give advice, especially on things that I know nothing about. So Zach is going to ask me from time to time parenting scenarios and what I would do or what should be done. Ultimately, we decided that I have now full control over the decisions that Zach makes regarding his kids.
Yeah, so number one, I've already apologized to our listeners this episode. Next, I want to apologize to my family for what's getting ready to happen. Johnny's gonna steer the boat in a different direction, and I just
we don't know that. I like to think I'm a pretty reasonable man.
I hope that he takes all of my emotions into account here. So actually, right before we started recording, my daughter, my oldest, was rummaging through the basement. She's been looking for a pajama shirt for the past 40 minutes because that's what she does. She just looks for things for a really long time, even though they're in plain sight. So, without giving too much more insight into what I think, because I don't want to be biased or affect the way Johnny's going to call this, so I'm just going to read something that she threw onto the desk and then scurried up the stairs. Okay? All right, so it says, number 1, it says, Dear Dad and Mom. I'm pretty sure Mom has not seen this yet, but I think she threw it at me because she thought I was going to be the more lenient one. Alas, Johnny is the one making the decision. So, let's see what he thinks. Dear Dad and Mom, it is my opinion that I should be allowed to bring my phone to middle school. Here are some reasons why. There are no bus slips or prime time. Prime time is our before and after school care that the school provides. I might need to contact you to pick me up or remind you of something important. You might need to contact me. Or personal emergency. Then it says, P.S. on the back, write good reasons why I should or shouldn't bring my phone. Love, we'll say the Gremlin. We'll call her the Gremlin. Even though I think I might have said her name before. But we'll just call her the Gremlin. So, Johnny, what are your thoughts on my 10-year-old, almost 11, bringing a phone to school, even though, and this should be noted, this phone is not activated. It does not have a data plan. It is strictly Wi-Fi only. So, what do you think?
Wait, so first of all, what is middle school in Kansas?
Number 1, I'm in Missouri, and you know that.
You know what I mean. You guys are all the same. All you in your tiny little states fit into, like 15 of you fit into one province.
You know what?
Get over yourselves. You're not all that special.
Calm down, dude. Just listen, you guys are mostly wilderness up there, all right, dude? So you have elementary school, which for the most...
Is 1 to 6?
Yes. For the most part. It depends on where you are in the country.
So weird. Okay.
1 through 5 in Missouri, in our school district, is elementary. Actually, K through 5. Kindergarten through 5th grade. Then they do 6th, 7th, 8th, middle school, and then high school, 9th through 12th. So, she's going to be in 6th grade this coming year. Exiting elementary, entering middle school.
So I think, how many times has she had to call you in case of emergency in her life?
Never.
Yeah, I would say, how many of her friends have phones right now?
I don't know that answer, honestly. I don't think they're allowed at the school that she's at right now.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. Well, I'd say that, although I appreciate that she had 3 P words in her little essay, as someone who has forgotten the P part of the dictionary, she failed to establish any form of precedence or actual function.
Yep.
Then I also think about when I was a kid, and I didn't get my first cell phone until grade 7, and I think I promptly lost it within 3 months.
Okay.
And it doesn't have data, so it's not really Does she have? What does she listen to? I guess she doesn't listen to music at school. That makes sense.
No, she doesn't have anything at school because it would be a distraction at this point in her life.
So here's the weird part. Here's where I think it's weird. So in Canada, as far as I know, across the board, elementary school is 1 to 6.
Okay.
And then we have junior high, which is 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
And then we have high school, which is 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so that's actually how I came up in like a hybrid scenario. So they did K through 6 for elementary school. Then they were in the process of moving from a junior high setup to a middle school. So I actually did 7, 8 in junior high, and then I was the first freshman class at the high school.
Cool. Did you get beaten up?
I got pantsed. Have I talked about that on the podcast?
No.
Okay. Well, we can go through that whenever you give me a decision on what you think for parenting with Jonny. Ooh, you know what? I should come up with some good theme music for parenting with Jonny.
I'm excited. Okay, so here's where I struggle. I didn't get my first phone until grade 7, which was the start of junior high, which is when I started having more independence and taking like city transit.
Mm-hmm.
I like entering a new school era of your life and then getting that phone versus getting it halfway through. I think that's weird for some reason, which makes no sense.
Okay.
I think grade 6 is too young.
Mm-hmm.
I would say looking between 7 and 9.
Okay, 7 and 9. I will say,
but I will say I like that she took the time to write a paper about it, and that could be the new game of keep making this better until the point that you convince me.
Yeah.
And then it's teaching her, how to write a paper. She's practicing. It's educational. And she's learning to express an argument in a factual way, which a lot of kids these days are lacking. So, there you go.
I've got a question for you, Jonny.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a child? You're showing some real chops for parenting, dude. So I say you just let it. Whoops, and then
I like disposable income and free time.
That's fair. There's not a lot of that. Not a lot of that with kids.
And all my friends who have had kids all say, you think you're going to miss all that stuff and you have kids and it completely changes and it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that. I just, really was afraid of having a kid when I was young, to the point where now I think I have, PTSD from fear of getting a girl pregnant, which is including being 30 and being married.
Wow, dude.
I still feel like I'm too young. It's too scary.
Wow.
I don't want them.
Wow.
I like buying motorcycles, which I did last weekend, and it was fantastic.
I saw a picture on the gram, dude.
On the gram. Bought a new bike, and I'm pretty happy. Not brand new, pretty new, 2017.
Nice, dude. And you haven't had a chance to do anything on it yet.
I started it in my garage, let it warm up.
You probably got
revved it.
You probably got a pretty good price on that bike though, because it's winter.
I waited conveniently. Yeah, end of month. I technically bought it the last weekend of November, but I picked it up last weekend.
There you go.
But yeah, I waited till the end of the month, end of season. The 2019 bikes were coming in. Mm-hmm. This one was used, had low K. It was pretty good. Pretty happy. It's going to be a long winter, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I might just sit in it and do some burnouts in my garage, just to feel it.
Just to feel it. You might just sit on top of it and rev your engine and...
Oh, I've done it before.
And just feel the power surging through your taint. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yep. The rumble, baby. So the cool thing about Calgary, we get Chinooks, which we've kind of talked about. So there is the potential that we could get a spree of 45 to 55 degree weather, and it could make it tempting to ride the bike in December or January. Yeah. But typically you won't probably see it out until May.
Yeah, May
Which
May
feels
May to
like
June,
forever.
and then you gotta garage it again.
You can ride through October. September for sure. Mid-October is pretty good.
All right, dude. Are you
Yeah.
are you just fed up at this point with
I hate
with
winter, dude. I hate winter so much. So much.
I'm fed up too with it, honestly.
Yeah, you don't even know what winter is.
Hey, we both
It
dealt.
was 25 degrees and I got an inch of snow.
Hey, it's hard for me, dude.
Dude, we're about to get freezing rain tonight. I don't even know if I'm able to. I'm gonna have to skate to work tomorrow. Which you laugh, and it sounds probably like the most Canadian or Michigan thing in the world, but there are places in this country where people skate to work.
That's so funny. They just they're like and then they do the little sideways stop.
Stop? You
Yep.
mean just how you stop? I like that. That's how you know that you never played hockey. That you got to do the sideways stop.
Like I know anything, dude. Okay.
I will admit though, when I was a kid, learning to stop sideways it felt pretty good. It was a good accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you learn how to stop sideways with like on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
that's an even bigger thing. Because most people can, like, most right-handed people, they're right foot dominant,
Mm-hmm.
and most people are okay with that being your back foot
Mm-hmm.
when you stop sideways.
Sure.
But when you learn to expose yourself and put that base foot out front, it's pretty scary at first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny,
And that's skating lesson. More parenting lessons with Johnny.
here's my call to arms for you, okay?
All right.
I want you to, on video, find somebody skating to work and please record it. I know people will just be like looking at you weird because you're just recording a random dude, and that's normal. There's a dude skating with a briefcase for some weird reason. I want you to record that, and then we'll put it up on Instagram, and it'll be the most Canadian thing that I've ever seen in my life, and I'm going to love every moment of it.
I mean, if it happens in Calgary, I will be pretty surprised, but I will do my best.
Or just
find it for you.
just find a video of somebody skating freely outside of a rink and not on a lake. That's what I want. Just like down a road. Find somebody skating down a road, and we'll just post it, and then everybody will know what we're talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna send you an article.
There we go. Wonderful. I am looking forward to this, guys. If you haven't by this point, go check out our Instagram. It will be on there.
There will be some evidence of this on the gram. Any other parenting points that I can provide you? What else you got for me? What are some daily dad decisions you got to make?
Well,
let me take some of this stress off for you. You can blame me. You can tell your wife that it was all me too.
Yeah. Oh, I plan on it. Here's my thing. How do you go about getting a child out of bed in a timely manner?
So I had this friend growing up. His name was Bryce.
Okay.
And I used to have a lot of sleepovers at his house. We were pretty close friends.
Okay.
And sometimes I would even stay over on school nights, which was extra cool. We would do homework and then play video games. But we were both super lazy, and when I was a kid, I loved sleeping in, which is weird because now I never sleep in general. But
you
his
did it
dad
backwards, dude.
I did. His dad had a very creative way of getting us up in the morning, and it was a glass of ice cold water.
Just pour it on him, huh?
Right on the face.
Wow.
Yeah, it was refreshing. And you know what? It's pretty jarring, so it wakes you up.
Mm-hmm.
2, you don't want to sleep around on this wet spot on the bed, this ice cold wet spot. So you just kind of get fed up and say, fuck it. And, get on with the day.
But here's my thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with a prepubescent girl. but it's on the horizon. I can see some of that attitude Judy stuff is coming out.
Ooh, baby. Yep.
So I don't think a cup of ice water on her face in the morning is going to provide the same results that it provided your friend's dad, because you're boys, you know. And
you're going to get sassed? Is that what you're worried about?
No, it's not even about the sass. It's just like that's going to be a negative way for my child to start.
Well, you know how you deal with the sass?
Tell her
a second glass of water.
Tell her to buck up. Yeah, a second glass of water. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't think I'm gonna be trying that one out. I might go like Looney Tunes style and put like a pot or a pan over her head and then like beat it with a spoon or something.
Yeah, so you want to give your kid CTE?
Yeah, but like it's not like it's like little CTE, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
it's like
right.
a mini CTE. It's like I think I probably have like a minor version of CTE because I got concussed one time. Just once.
Potentially. So is she not getting up now? She's struggling to get up?
Yeah, so we bought her an alarm clock. Of course, she snoozes the alarm clock.
Oh, I fucking hate the snooze.
She snoozes it, and then she's right back in bed. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is finding a way to move her alarm clock all the way across the room, so that does help. So that she's forced to get up out of bed and walk to the alarm clock.
Have you tried? Ooh, interesting. You should try one of those alarms that are based on how deep a sleep you're in, because maybe what the issue is, because the alarm clock goes off and it's really alarming and it's pulling you out of, she might be getting pulled out of REM, so she's really exhausted still.
Okay.
But there are those alarms now that you say, you know, I need to get up, say I need to be up at 6:30, I would say wake me up anywhere between 6 and 6:30. And then the alarm will actually sense on how deep of sleep you're in based on your movement and your breathing and the light in the room. And then it will wake you up when you're at your most shallowest point of sleep, so that you wake up feeling more actually refreshed. There's a lot of articles that talk about that being an issue with people who hit the snooze too much, is they get into the deep and then it's ripping you out of that sleep, so your body hasn't caught up and adjusted. Whereas there's a lot of points in the morning that we would naturally be okay to get up and then feel refreshed, which is also one of the things that they tell people who deal with insomnia, is to sleep when you're tired and be awake when you're not, instead of forcing yourself to sleep. So, for example, if you wake up at 5 in the morning and you're wide awake, have you ever had that?
Oh, yeah.
So what do you usually do?
Troll around on my phone, probably, for a bit.
Oh, really? And then you try and go back to sleep?
Depending on what day it is. If it's like a Saturday or something like that, I might try to go back to sleep. But
if it's a work day, if you get up at 5?
Yeah, I'll just be up.
Oh, that's really good. Most people will go back to sleep, and what is their first thought? They look at their phone, and which is the worst thing to do when you want to try and go back to sleep. But you'll say, "Oh, I have 30 minutes, or I have an hour." So then they go back to sleep, and then they hit that deeper level of sleep, and then their alarm goes off, and they're feeling really tired, and they go, "Oh, I didn't get a great sleep last night because I woke up early," and blah blah blah. And it wasn't actually that you woke up early; it was because you went back to sleep instead of actually just staying up and utilizing the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the issue too with phones is if you're awake or you're watching the phone, it fucks with your brain, and it makes it harder for you to actually fall asleep. And then you start getting this thing called sleep anxiety, which is where you feel panicked or pressure to fall asleep to maximize the time you have to sleep.
I never
You've never heard
this.
of that?
No, I do not suffer from this. I fall asleep while looking at my phone frequently. I've had it happen several different times where I have fallen asleep and my phone is above my head in my hand, and I've dropped it onto my face. It's happened many times before, and then a lot of times it'll just slip out of my hand and I'll fall asleep wherever I am.
Wow. Well, I guess that makes sense. You and Joey are. It must be an Oxley thing.
I have no problem sleeping. If you
All
gave
right.
me enough time right now and I turn the lights off, I could lay on this floor, fall asleep.
All right. Well, to answer your question, I would suggest one of two things. One, getting one of those sense-based alarms.
Okay.
And see if that helps. Two, you get one of the alarms that Joe had that had a helicopter and that you had to get up and physically search for the helicopter before the alarm was shut off.
Do you remember what he ended up doing?
Didn't he tie a string on it or something?
No. So he got tired of the helicopter flying off, so he eventually just left it off and he started jamming like a pencil or something into the open hole. Where so this dock had like it was a helicopter
pushing it in
unquote.
or something?
Huh?
Wouldn't he just sleep holding something in the hole?
Something like that, probably, yeah.
Sounds like Joe, yeah.
But so it was a quote unquote helicopter. It had like a little fan propeller looking thing attached to this like stick. And the stick went down into a hole and it had like a little
Sensor.
Yeah, like a sensor, but it
like
had
a
like
button.
Yeah, but it had like this motor inside of the alarm clock itself that would spin the bottom of the stick, therefore spinning the propeller, therefore
you're talking about how it flies.
Yep,
Yeah.
therefore propelling it up into the air. And then you had to grab it and put it back onto the dock to turn the alarm off. Well, Joe had completely bypassed this eventually because he got pissed off enough times for having to get out of bed. That
Well, I knew it flew behind his TV a few times, and that really pissed him off.
And there's no way to turn it off, like other than unplugging it from the wall.
But he woke up because he was really pissed.
Yeah. I think I remember a couple times being out in the hall and like being up before Joe and his alarm going off and just hearing like
thrashing.
God damn it, just like screaming inside of his room.
Hey Zach, guess what?
What, Johnny?
I'm actually doing an Audible spot. Or am I?
How weird would it be if it wasn't an Audible spot? No, this is an Audible spot. Guys, as with every episode, we are sponsored by the great people over at Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled to get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They've got it's unfathomable how many books they actually have, audiobooks.
Unlimited audiobooks. I heard that there are so many audiobooks that you could listen to one nonstop for your entire life 100 times over. That is a fact certified by me.
Yeah, and all statistics, it's like 97% of statistics are made up on the spot. But that 3% right there, that's not made up, dude.
That's gold, and that's only that 3% is where I pull my stats.
So, Johnny, what's the book that you're gonna recommend everybody listen to? You know, it's a very Christmassy month. It's a very giving month. Are you gonna give people a good book to listen to? Dude?
I am giving them one. I am actually giving them statistically the best book on Audible.
Okay,
and this is real. It's the highest rated audiobook on Audible. It's the sequel to At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, the first ever romance novel for dudes. This one is When Darkness Falls, He Doesn't Catch It, the second romance novel for dudes. Yes. Written by St. James Street James, starring St. James Street James, also known as Ross Patterson.
Best name ever, by the way.
Ross Patterson?
No,
or St. James Street James.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. So this one is following up with the Civil War. It's following the main character, St. James Street James, his activity during and through the Civil War, and building of the Great Railroad that spanned your moderately okay country. If you like books that are graphic, both in violence and sexual nature, if you like cowboys and Indians and trains,
yeah, I love that.
And copious amounts of drugs, and liberation of slaves. This book is for you. Highly entertaining. There's a bunch of Oscar recipients and nominated actors who voice act in this book, which is probably why it makes it so great. Though a lot of them signed NDAs so that their names wouldn't be actually attached to the book, because
but you can tell. You can tell.
You'll be able to pick them out for sure. And part of the reason why this was the case, there may or may not be a sex scene in this book involving Harriet Tubman. So I will leave that one to you guys. It is a must read, must listen. Absolute great conversation starter. If you have it on an airplane in a paperback, people will recognize the cover and they will ask you what that book's all about, and you want to be in the know. So definitely check it out on audibletrial.com/jumbled.
Absolutely. Hey, Johnny, thanks, buddy. Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Johnny.
That's my gift to you all. You're welcome.
Let's get back to the podcast.
All right.
It's like Frankenstein's monster just got loose inside of Joe's room, just screaming, and oh god.
Allie snoozes from 6 a.m. until 7:30.
Does she?
It drives me fucking insane.
She's a snoozer. I'm a snoozer a lot of times too, honestly. Here, I want to show you what my alarm system looks like right now. All right.
I don't. Oh my god.
I want to show you it. Okay, so you're gonna see it. This is all of it. Okay, starting
5:30, 5:45, 6:15, 6:30, 6:45. See, Zach, this is exactly what I was talking about.
But if I wake up and I feel rested, I don't go back to sleep.
You don't use all of those snoozes every morning?
No.
Okay, that's good. There are people that do that, and it's just pointless. You might as well just sleep until 7.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting good sleep in snoozes anyways.
Right. You're right.
Be like me, Zach. Get up and go work out. Make coffee. Make a lunch for your wife. That's what I do.
There you go. You're a better man than I.
I'm on those 2 a day, Zach.
There you go, dude. I saw an article. Well, it wasn't really an article. It links to an article. I don't have the link present right now, but it's from Reddit, and it's from r/Today I Learned. I don't know if you look at that Reddit.
Nope. I mean, I have. I know what it is.
Right.
Just before we move, are we done with parenting with Johnny? Did I solve all your problems?
I feel like there are more problems you could solve, but I don't have them queued up right now.
Sounds good. All right. Moving on.
We'll save them for another segment. Yep.
The first ever segment of Parenting with Johnny. You guys can expect my parenting book coming out in 2020.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be called Parenting Advice for Parents
from a non-parent
who's not a parent.
I love it. And if you
I
guys...
could probably make a killing on that book, actually.
You honestly could. And if you guys have any questions for the non-parent, Johnny, feel free to shoot those over as well. Maybe we'll cover some of those on
absolutely, more than happy.
So yeah, moving on. Today I learned there is a grizzly bear in Banff, Canada. That's in Alberta, right?
Yep, not far from me, actually. You could have seen it from my house had you come to the wedding.
There you go. His name is Boss. He has been hit by a train 3 times, eats smaller black bears and elk, and has never caused harm to people, and lives in town.
I wouldn't say he lives in town. He's known in town.
So you know about Boss?
Yeah.
So is that true? He's been hit by a train 3 times.
That's the first I've heard of that, but I don't. Where's that article from?
Nationalpost.com.
Oh yeah, it's probably real. I mean, that's kind of a conservative reg, but it's probably real. I know about Boss though. Everyone knows about Boss. Here's the thing about Canada in certain parts, like towns around Canada, like Banff or Jasper. You're in the wild and the wild will be in the town. And there are a lot of people that get attacked by deer or especially elk. Elk are very territorial, or bears, because they're inside of a town, a fairly sized town. And they think just because these animals are in the city that they're safe to walk up to and touch and pet, which is not the case. So when you say lives in Banff, Boss is there, but people aren't buddy with him. I think that's important. So if you're visiting Banff and you see the giant grizzly, I would highly recommend you don't fuck with him in on any capacity.
Well, that's a PSA that isn't like hashtag unnecessary PSA.
You think so? You think so? Like I said, a lot of people get mauled here because they see a bear, and sometimes it's people that's the first time they've ever seen a bear, which is really weird to me to think that there are countries in this world that don't have bears, so they only see the cartoon versions and the Winnie the Pooh versions and the fun movie versions, and not realizing that those things will eat you, and some bears see humans as a food source.
Sure. Because they're massive.
They're fucking huge.
I just thought it was funny that he's been hit by a train 3 times, and he's like, fuck it, you know.
He's a big old boy.
Yeah, he's not little, dude. I'm looking at a picture of him right now.
Yeah. Don't fuck around with grizzlies, man.
Somebody on Reddit said, "Why the hell isn't he mayor yet?" Can he be an honorary mayor of Banff?
He could.
Does he get to make decisions? Like who to eat?
That's like the jury.
So
he gets to decide your punishment, which is do I eat you or not?
So there are shit people everywhere, right? I feel like if you're somewhere like Banff and you have and you're just a shitty person, like you're either like a pedophile or something like that, you just get tossed out to Boss, and he gets to determine what he's going to do with you.
I like that. Boss, I think we could get Boss on board.
I think Boss would be totally fine with that, especially if it's like, I don't know, the right time of year, you know?
Mm-hmm. Leading into this season, actually.
Yep. Getting ready to he's probably getting ready to hibernate?
Yeah, most of them will be. Well, it depends. If it's too warm, it fucks with them a little bit, but getting pretty close, yeah.
I'm sure global warming is just super fun up in Canada. Do you get a lot of like middle of the winter bear attacks nowadays?
They happen. Bears don't hibernate as we thought we did as kids, where they're completely out. So they still will wake up. They're still somewhat conscious. Sometimes they will wander out, especially if we get a weird middle winter sun or hot streak heat wave. It can pull them out, so they get confused thinking that it's spring, but it's not actually. But bear attacks are quite common.
It's because
sure.
They were in that REM sleep. They were in that deep sleep, and they got woken up.
Yep. Exactly.
Groggy, dude. Just groggy.
You making fun of me, huh?
No, I was just doing a callback.
Oh, okay, good. But yeah, no, that is a good one. There's another famous Banff video, which I don't know if was ever confirmed if it was comedy or if it was real, but it was of a tourist who had a very strong Asian accent, talking about, I think it was an elk that he thought was a unicorn. You should look it up. It's pretty funny. Okay.
An elk that
he thinks is a unicorn. And basically he says, I thought unicorns were extinct, but they are in Banff.
I might throw some audio in if I can find it.
It's pretty good audio. It's pretty funny. Maybe a little racist. I don't know. I still chuckled.
Yeah. Well, it's only racist if you make it a racist thing, right?
That's true.
Otherwise, it's just a dude who thinks an elk is a unicorn, and that's hilarious to me.
Yeah. I hope it's real. Truthfully, I really hope it's real. Zach,
Yes.
what is something that you do that you used to only think old people did?
Fall asleep early.
That fucking chair.
Sorry, dude. No, fall asleep early. Honestly.
Isn't it weird that remember being a kid and having nap time and taking a nap felt like the worst thing in the fucking world?
Mm-hmm.
And now if I get a chance to nap, which I have to say, my dog, we've found this new bonding exercise to do, and I've started laying on the couch to take naps. Mm-hmm. And he will pop up and lay on my chest, and we will nap together.
Oh, that's adorable.
And I fucking love it, even though he's pretty heavy. And then, I probably last about an hour before he gets really uncomfortable on me because he's bony. I don't know how we started this.
It's like a weighted blanket with edges.
Yeah, he does have some knobby little stumps. But I just fucking melt when he does it. And now I've been calling it his spot. So I'll come home from work and I'll lay down on the couch and I'll say, Gus, come to your spot. And I'll open up my arms like I'm hugging. Mm-hmm. And he'll come and jump up on the couch and just like snuggle up into me.
Aww.
Yeah, I love that dog.
That's adorable, dude.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so naps are definitely one of them to me where I love the naps.
Yeah, I get down with some naps, dude. You don't even have to ask me twice. You want to take a nap? Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, and trimming my nose hair.
I don't do that.
You haven't had to do that with all that beard hair you have? You have no nose hair?
Dude, I won the genetic lottery with facial hair, okay? Aside from my eyebrows getting a little crazy from time to time and a slight unibrow, which I have to keep in check.
How do you keep that in check?
You shave it?
I shave mine too. Allie gets really pissed because she says it's not good, that I should pluck it.
Who the
fuck that? It's so easy to shave it. It takes me 15 seconds.
It's a rumor or a tall tail or a wives' tail or whatever.
I just think it's more effective.
Back thicker, you know?
It's more effective if you pluck.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
But
then
takes
you gotta
more
sit
time.
Through it. Yeah, you gotta sit through it and all that shit. Just fucking take a razor to it. Who cares? So I do that, and then every once in a while I gotta thin out the eyebrows, but for the most part, nose hair's fine. Don't have any crazy ear hair.
I'm terrified about the ear hair. The ear hair is the one that weirds me out. Nose hairs I get, neck hair, back hair, whatever, no hair, but ear hair to me is just so weird.
Dude, I'm waiting on my Earfro to come out, dude.
The Earfro?
The Earfro, yeah. That's something that you know what? That's my phrase, so don't try to use it, guys. Some people like to have an afro. I'm waiting on my Earfro, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I like it. Anything else that you do that you used to think only old people did? I eat a lot of prunes. I like prunes.
I don't do that. I do not do that. Hold on. I saw something from Facebook pages come through, and
it's Brent.
Is it Brent?
Yeah, he's asking about facts. We can follow up with him.
Okay.
My other old person thing that I do. I'm very routine. Does that? I guess you kind of have to be as a kid. Yeah, regimented. And I always just, when I was younger, I felt like I was always just so go with the flow. And now I'm like, no, I got to get up. I got to do my workout. I got to make coffee. I got to do this and feed the dogs.
I think as you get older, you start to understand that there's going to be a lot more that takes precedence during your day. So if you don't make time for certain things, then they're just not going to happen.
That's true. Good point. Interesting.
So I think that's probably that's a change everybody has to go through. But that's definitely something that does change. So I can agree with that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I still like to get down with the video games from time to time. So that hasn't really changed. I don't foresee that changing.
I go through a lot of phases with video games. We should do a Jonny review of Red Dead Redemption.
We should.
Disappointing.
Really?
Moving on. Yeah, I haven't been that excited for a video game in a long time. I should say a long time because I was really excited for Wildlands. And I actually dreamt about Red Dead Redemption.
Dang, dude.
And I know it's a Rockstar game, and all you out there are going to say, oh, it's a Rockstar game. I don't know why you expected great game mechanics about open world, free choice, blah, blah, blah. Sure. I loved Grand Theft Auto. I love the series. I played them a lot online. Yeah, they're not the greatest shooter, best or greatest shooter, best shooter, even in the top 10.
Sure.
But it worked. Red Dead Redemption doesn't work.
Sorry to hear that, man. I haven't played it.
And it's almost too detailed. To the point where
they spent more time on the graphics than the content.
No, I mean just what you have to do in gameplay to function as a character. Like you have a camp and you have to get certain food or medicine or this or that, and then you take your horse through a river, and now your gun is rusty, so your stats are low, so you have to clean your gun, you have to clean your horse, you have to feed your horse. It's like The Sims with really bad shooting mechanics that just leave you frustrated.
Oh, that's unfortunate, dude.
But it is a beautiful game, and I like the idea of it, and the exploration and the hunting and the free roam is great. It's just clunky is the best way that I can explain it, and it's slow. The storyline is really slow.
Yeah.
And I bought it the opening weekend, and I've maybe played 10 hours, which isn't a lot.
Right. Because it's been out for over a month now.
Yeah, but it's enough that you get a decent understanding of the game. And I have to say, I have not really wanted to play it. I have not played it since the first weekend. I probably played 10 hours in the first week, and then I haven't touched it since.
Dang, man.
Yeah.
That's I'm sorry to hear it, dude.
Although I did almost buy Fortnite again.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to buy it. It's free.
Well, you can buy it on the Switch. Which, yeah, that's a good point. Why do I have to pay for it on the Switch, but I can download it for free? What the fuck?
You shouldn't have to buy anything. Fortnite.
I don't know. Man, I'm old. I was in Best Buy looking at a bunch of shit for the Switch. Maybe it was like a character pack or something stupid that I didn't know what I was buying.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I just saw Fortnite and $30, okay?
Yeah, it was probably like it was probably V-Bucks. Is probably what because that's what
fuck that nonsense.
Yeah, it's like their form of currency to be able to buy skins and whatnot, which are not necessary for playing the game.
Not at all. You know what I am excited for, which you should consider playing? Blizzard is re-releasing Vanilla Warcraft with quality of life tweaks, so it will just be the original game with some quality of life tweaks. They made it a little bit faster and easier, but it's just the original content.
I'm the next Leroy Jenkins, dude.
Well, you can relive Leroy Jenkins. That video ruined a great World of Warcraft server. Rest in peace. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited to throw it back 14 years to play that game again. I've kind of gone back to it a few times here and there, but it's so much effort, and I really like quick pick-me-up games that I can play for 10, 20, 30, maybe an hour. And WoW is just not one of those games.
No, it's a continuing thing, right? Like
it's a time suck. Although I have to say it's so addicting. I haven't played it in 6 years.
Yeah.
Since when I stopped playing, maybe 5, 6. It was right before I started dating Al. So 6. And I still get cravings to play that game. Out of nowhere.
Dang,
just
dude.
out of nowhere, I'll be sitting at my desk, or I'll be driving, or I'll be watching a TV show, and I'll have this gut-wrenching feeling to play WoW. It's fucking crack of video games.
That's wild, dude.
I was into it real deep. It had its claws real deep into me.
I will say that although I'm not in that deep, Fortnite's actually really fun. And they recently released a patch that, so I don't know if you ever played Infinity Blade. It's like a mobile. It's a mobile game that Epic made a while back. So, but it's for like, I don't know if it's for Android, but they had it on iOS. Basically, you just had to fight a bunch of monster dudes with these swords, and one of the swords is called the Infinity Blade. They've done like this cross game thing where they've introduced the Infinity Blade into Fortnite. So like, there's only one of them that is spawned on the map, and it pretty much the person who's holding it is like a god, not like you're still able to die and able to be defeated, but just a lot more powerful. I have not yet been able to play with it because I get killed every time I get close to it because everybody's trying to get it. But
get your shit together, Zach.
I dropped in once this morning when I had like 2 minutes just to see what it was like, and that was it. But so other than that, I honestly don't play many other video games aside from that right now.
That's fair. I still play League here and there, and then Al's grown a pretty good collection of Switch games, which I highly recommend that system. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm pretty focused on like the gym and dinner and cleaning up and the dogs and whatnot. So,
those sound like pretty cool video games, dude.
They're great. I highly recommend them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey Johnny, do you have any other little gems, questions, concerns, comments, other things you wanted to bring up in this episode? I know you said you had a whole bunch of stuff that you wanted to ask me or cover.
I did, but we are coming up to that hour mark.
Now you just got material for next week. That's fine.
And I have a bunch of material. I have not been ignoring you.
Sort of seemed like it.
I have been taking notes of questions, but then I also started drawing pirate ship battles.
Yeah, you're doodling.
So, doodling is a sign of focus, not of lack of focus. Did you know that? And that there's a lot of people who are doodlers actually have a higher information retention rate when they're doodling versus when they're focusing on the speaker.
Sounds like a cop out. And
go fuck yourself, Zach.
All right, we'll just wrap it up there, Johnny. Thanks for bringing your sexy self on by.
It's good to be back. Glad you're feeling better.
Yes.
I hope people like Joe Rogan. Our people are working on connecting with his people, so it's great.
Our people. We have people. It's like me, like just.
Hey, we have 2 employees. We have Brent and we have Joe.
Joe's a lackey.
Joe's a lackey. Fucking slacker. Fucking quitter.
Quitter.
We fired him. We made that clear.
Yeah. I'm sort of wondering, and this is not confirmed at all, so don't get your hopes up, people. But there may be potential in the future where Joe is available in some capacity. Ooh. So I don't want to give things away.
Good cliffhanger.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. And if you want to follow us on social media, just go over to any site that you like and search for Jumbled Podcast. We're there, and connect with us there. If you want to shoot us an email, jumbledpodcast@gmail.com or johnny.jumbled@gmail.com. Again, with the dick pics, keep them rolling. And
I love them.
Yep. he touches himself to them frequently. And if you want to listen to us anywhere else, we are on all the major podcasting platforms. I actually saw recently, Johnny, that Pandora has recently opened up the floodgates for listeners for podcasts to be on their platform as well.
Really?
So we might be coming to Pandora here soon. Have not submitted an application yet, but that will be something forthcoming, and we'll keep you guys updated if that's something that ends up happening. Regardless of where you listen to us, go over to iTunes, give us a rating and review. Let's get those ratings up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Thanks to Audible for sponsoring this week's podcast and every week's podcast. Go over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. You guys know the drill. It's a good deal. Get over, take advantage of it. And pay $500 at patreon.com/jumbled and get Johnny and I an address. Get us an address, guys.
In a dress. It's
like the jumbled version of toga. Anyway, guys.
It totally is.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. That's it for this week, but we will see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
About unsolicited advice.
God, and it was unsolicited.